Men, what are some guy tips you think every man should know? First, don't underestimate the power of smelling good. Cologne is meant to be discovered, not announced. Second, it's easier to stay in shape than to get in shape. Third, take it slower and enjoy it more. It works for most things in life and for life in general. Fourth, your teeth. Look after them. Don't sweep them under the rug, it's not worth it later in life. And fifth, take care of your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Next, the woman serving you at the shop is smiling at you because she's been told to smile at customers. She's not hitting on you. 7. Know yourself. Keep an eye out for changes. Also, keep it all clean. Apparently, a lot of guys object to having the doctor inspect their thing during a checkup. It's a doctor, they're just looking for abnormalities and stuff. Eighth, when it comes to dating, one of the best skills to have is conversational skills. Learn how to carry a conversation and how to listen. You will be successful. Ninth, when you are angry, don't slam your wrist or fists down on the table. Trust me, it's never worth it. 10, while the wild caveman look can work for some guys, that's still not an excuse to disregard personal grooming and hygiene. You still need to be clean, to brush, trim your beard, to wear clothes that actually fit, and put on deodorant. Rugged is a good look, homeless, not so much. 11. In your bathroom, you should keep a trash can with a lid that can be opened with your foot. Don't put it under the sink or out of view. Future female guests in your home will really appreciate it. 12. If there's even a chance you will bring a date home with you, tidy up. Dust, vacuum, mop, fold your clothes, wash your sheets at least once a week, whether you have a date or not. Make your bed and clean your bathroom, including scrubbing the toilet. I have heard enough stories from my friends who are women that I know doing this alone instantly puts you in the top 20%. 13. Don't be afraid to compliment your fellow man. You'll be surprised at the difference a compliment from your brother can make. If your bro is looking good, nice hair, shoes, outfits, whatever, let him know. Some people never get compliments and it can improve their day or even their whole week. 14. If you like pink fizzy cocktails, just order them. No one cares. 15. Get yourself a safety razor. The blades are way more affordable, the shave is cleaner, and these things will serve you for like 60 years. No need for a quintuple blade mumbo jumbo. 16. Learn to become just friends with women. I'd be lost without my female friends and feel like such a well rounded person because of them. 17. Don't get hung up on a single woman. If she doesn't return your affection or desire, then just move on. A woman who doesn't return your advances isn't worth more than a second of your time. 18. Nurture and mentor the young men coming up behind you. Society deems young men suspicious and disposable. There are no organizations looking out for you. And when you grow up, the only people who care about you are your parents. The world does not find you and will not be sympathetic towards you. 19. Work out. No, you don't have to aim for six-pack abs. It is just generally healthy and gives you endorphins, aka happy hormones. Men don't usually speak up when they are depressed, and working out helps with this. 20. Being a gentleman is free, so use it often. Also, know how to take rejection. These qualities will get you far when combined with continual learning. 21. It's okay to cry sometimes. You are not made of stone, and most of the time it's good to listen, but open your mouth sometimes. 22. Try to pick 3 to 5 songs that you feel good about singing out loud, so that if you ever end up in a place that obliges you to sing karaoke, you'll be set. 23. Don't be nice because you want something from someone. Be nice because it's the right thing to be. 24. You can get rid of a chubby by flexing your thighs and holding your breath. Finally, at 25, learn to do girly things with your baby daughter. Brush her hair, play with the toys she wants you to play with. Alright, so I'm not sure I could pull off number 14 as well as OP, but it sounds like OP has already had a good amount of success with the other gender, so I'll take his word for it. All in all, it seems the key thing here is that confidence is key, and the key to that is doing the hard things that will give us that confidence, i.e., working out, smelling nice, cleaning ourselves up, and cleaning up after ourselves. Story 2. I'm 50 years old. This is stuff I wish someone had told me when I was young. Work from home, live well below your means, and pay cash for everything, including your house. If you have debt, getting to zero debt should be your main goal, and if you have no debt, stay there. People will tell you that debt is good if you get a higher return than the interest you're paying. There is some truth to that, but it's not worth the stress and extra work. These kinds of risks fail all the time. Get married and have kids young. Don't marry a girl just because she's attractive and fun. Those things are good, but you'll also need someone who will stay with you when you're bankrupt or sick, Will be a good mother, a good cook, won't trash the house and not care, won't get involved with the pizza guy, you know what I mean, etc. Will she be happy with a reliable used Toyota Camry or will she demand a new Mercedes? You want balance in everything. You don't want one that dresses like a homeless person or takes 2 hours to put on makeup. Stay away from girls who are into hard living or materialism. Find out how much debt they have while you're dating. If you have zero debt and she's $20,000 in debt, you're paying a $20,000 dowry to marry her. Also, find out why she's in debt. Was it student loans or did she start a business? Okay. Was it all shoes and handbags on credit cards? Run. Did she go 20K into debt to become an RN? Great. Don't sleep around. There's nothing wrong with waiting until you're married. You'll avoid diseases and it will help you build a closer bond with your wife. Learn how to install or repair as much as you can yourself. Brake job in a shop, $600. Brake job in your driveway, $60. YouTube is priceless for this stuff. Eat mostly meat and vegetables. Keep your carbohydrate intake under 150 grams a day. And if you're on the heavier side, experiment with no carb or low carb diets and intermittent fasting. Avoid anything processed. Avoid chemicals in food. Use real butter and fat instead of margarine, for example. Don't drink anything with booze or sugar. This includes sports drinks, energy drinks, and fruit juice. Drink water, tea, and coffee in limited quantities. At the end of the day, ask yourself what you have to show for the day. Did you work? Did you learn something? Did you repair something? There's nothing wrong with video games, but they are a time suck. If you spend all day playing video games, that's a problem. Spend time with your kids as much as you can while they're little. You'll go to sleep one day when they're 3 and wake up when they're in college. Time speeds up as you get older. 1985 feels like last week to me, and nothing is worse than regret. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this one, and that's fine, but for me, religion has been a major part of my life. I'm convinced it's the truth. Can look back over the years and see that there were way too many coincidences for it to be a coincidence. So take a leap of faith and ask your God to come into your life, guide you, and show you that they're real. You won't regret it. So my takeaway here is about marrying the right woman and not marrying into tens of thousands of dowry of credit card debt. Unless, of course, it is because she's now a nurse and will be the best one ever to take care of me when I'm all old and weak. Story 3. Learn to cook early. It will save you a ton of money in the long run. After all, this is not your parents' economy, so restaurants should not be your first choice for food. Consider that being a good cook will help you with the ladies. When I was younger, I could always impress my girlfriends and roommates by cooking meals we would not otherwise be able to afford in a restaurant. It also meant we could try more expensive cuts of meat or fish. You better believe a lady is impressed when you make her steak and lobster. She sees your skills and knows there might be other skills she'd like to investigate. Take her to a restaurant and all you flex is your wallet. Try to buy the best quality kitchen tools that you can afford rather than buying cheap ones every few years. This applies to any tools you intend to use daily. I only cheap out if it's an item I'll likely not use again. Now here are some actual manly cooking tips. You can wrap your chicken in aluminum foil when you pop those bad boys on the grill. It keeps those seasonings and marinades packed in along with the moisture. Plus, you still get that nice grill taste. You're not going to over-season those burgers, champ. Put a bit more salt, etc. on those puppies. Season high, too, for an even spread. Add salt to that pasta before you cook it. No, son. More. Like more. More than that. We're talking quite a bit of salt. That's not to help it boil faster. It just adds a bit of flavor to the pasta. Really impress your dates with that little tip. Finally, we tend to problem solve. We always had to. Someone had to figure out the best way to throw that rock into the fire to make it go whoosh the biggest. However, when your lovely wife or girlfriend is talking to you, don't try to solve the problem there, sport. Just pause for that time and listen. She's venting to you and really just wants to be heard. Validate her, pay attention, and agree with her. Say, sorry, that really sucks, but don't give her the play-by-play on how to solve the issues. I promise you, she already knows how. Heaven knows she knows how 7 different ways until Sunday. She just needs you to help bear those woes. I know it's hard sometimes, but just give her your attention. No matter how tedious or silly it might be to you, it's weighing on her. Story 4. Have a goal you want to achieve in life. You need to have a drive. Way too many men are just aimlessly wandering through life. Find a mentor. You will find the challenges of life easier to handle when you have someone guiding you. It will save you from a lot of heartache and hardship. All your dreams are worth pursuing. They will not be made a reality overnight, and all good things take time, so don't give up on them. Remove people from your life who wish to poison that well for you. Be mindful of who you share your plans and goals with. The majority will instantly try to talk you down or tell you that you can't do it. That is spoken out of the brokenness they have within themselves. Know your worth and understand the value of your time. Freely give your time to help others, especially if you own your own business. The ones you help will be the first to knock on your door when they have a money making opportunity they want to share with you. You will find yourself with healthy friendships and pockets full of money. Don't be arrogant in job interviews. Be an expert, share your skills and experience, and also be humble. There are so many times when I've rejected potential candidates because they said something like, the people at my last job didn't know what they were doing, so I did it better. I know women can be this way too, but I see it mostly coming from men. Throughout my career, I've seen employers hire people who may not be the most highly skilled, but their attitude and humility pay dividends. It's a sign that they are malleable and can be trained easily, and they tend to get hired over the arrogant know it all. Team culture is so big right now, and a lot of employers look to see if you're a team fit first. Also, please ask questions like any question. Show some interest in the company. Research the company ahead of time. It's a time investment that will pay off. Absolutely. I hate with a passion working with quote unquote know it alls. And in my experience, they never last too long anyway, either at the workplace and or in their relationships with other people. Story 5. Know the worth of a person, including yourself. If you're willing to walk over glass for someone who can't return a text, you're belittling yourself. If you can't be bothered to acknowledge someone who has turned their world upside down for you, well, you're just being an a-hole. It goes both ways, people. You don't owe your time to anyone, and they don't owe it to you. So don't obsess over someone who will only use you and then toss you aside as needed, and don't do the same to those who are obsessed with you. Even if it's you tastefully rejecting someone, still acknowledge them and don't string them along to keep as a backup or as something to use and discard. Saying, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but the type of relationship you're wanting is not what I'm looking for with you, is a hard conversation to have sometimes. But it does save a lot of hurt feelings and will help you grow as a person. What this doesn't mean is that you should expect other people to give you more than they are willing to give. It doesn't mean you're entitled to anyone's attention or acknowledgement because you've quote unquote put so much into your interactions. What it means is that you should know when to walk away from people who don't acknowledge your efforts. Know when to decide that you are putting your time and resources into the wrong person. I've seen people who expect their interests to return the same amount of energy, but that doesn't lead anywhere good. They demand the same energy back and create a conflict or unreasonable demand from someone who isn't interested or consenting. It doesn't work like that. You just have to figure out where it is worth putting your energy and not put it in places where it's wasted. Just don't turn it into a belief of quote unquote being wronged if you don't get the attention you want. Story 6. Now, this one goes out to the homies who grew up without a father figure, role models, or friends. Kindness does not equal affection from anyone, but especially from women. A lot of us seem to have issues with that. Until you can really understand that kindness does not equal affection from a woman, assume all women are just messing with your head when they smile at you or say thanks. And for God's sake, don't worry about it. And for heaven's sake, never take that personally. This mindset will give you a chance to focus on yourself while remembering that the world does not revolve around you. There isn't a single stranger who owes you anything. No matter how hard you try, you are never owed reciprocation. You are not owed it. Don't assume you'll get it. Just treasure it when you do. If you scratch someone's back, don't get upset when they never scratch yours in return. It's normal. This applies to women, sure, but really to all people in general. Use common sense to figure out where this applies. It's absolutely okay to have some expectations from people you have a deep history with. You can't live without trust. When you genuinely love and care for yourself and understand that 90% of women don't care whether you're alive or not, it should become obvious what is actually affection and what is not. I promise. And please, if you can find some way to afford it, consider therapy. People like you and I can benefit a lot from having someone to talk to. Good luck to you. Now that's a tough lesson, and it's even tougher to experience firsthand. I'm glad there are people taking the time to put these out there, and if you're finding these tips super helpful like myself, please do hit that like button and subscribe for more insightful content. It really helps keep me going, and of course, it helps the channel going. Let's go on to the next story. This is story 7. Read Marcus Aurelius, acknowledge your emotions, but don't let them control your actions. Control what you can, just don't worry about what you cannot control. Those butterflies in your stomach and your racing heart when you meet a girl aren't falling in love, they are your hormones. There is no one or soulmate, just people you are and are not compatible with. Start saving for your retirement in your 20s. If you marry, and there are plenty of reasons not to, marry your best female friend, the one you can talk to and hang out with anytime. Not the wild eyed girl who you're only physically attracted to. You can avoid a lot of problems in life by keeping your mouth shut. Also, when you first start dating someone, don't shuffle your friends aside even if you want to spend every minute with your new partner. Part of the reason he or she was probably attracted to you in the first place was that you had a good social circle of people who loved you. If you brush them aside, you risk losing their attraction and weakening some of the bonds you have with friends. I've seen it happen too much, and this is how guys usually end up overbearing to their partners, expecting them to fulfill every need they have. In extreme cases, it can end in the worst case scenario when they break up with you and you are now alone and have no other social support network to get you through the breakup. Story 8. When I lived alone, there were several things that impressed girls. Here's a list. First, wine glasses and wine opener. Even if you're not a wine drinker, any woman coming over will appreciate this. Second, a bookshelf with actual books. You wouldn't believe how many women are turned off by guys who openly admit that they don't read. Third, seasoning and spices in the kitchen cupboard. Cooking is a basic life skill that everyone should learn by the age of 25. 4. Actual pictures of artwork and or scenery. No posters of superheroes, cars, or inappropriately dressed women. This gives women a sense of maturity. Fifth, having your bed made up every day. If she's coming over and you know you're about to get it on, make up your bed. Sixth, have more than 2 sets of bed sheets for your bed. I shouldn't have to explain this one, but most guys I know just don't do this. Seventh, always keep your bathroom sink and mirror clean. It gives women the sense that you're responsible and take care of what's yours. They also love looking in the mirror. And finally, eighth, if you leave the toilet seat up, make sure that it's flushed. All right, so I don't know about number 4. I do have posters, but of old school films and movies. So those can be art too, right? And yes, number 8, definitely a yes. Story 9. Lots of people, especially Midwesterners and boomers, love handshakes and will use them to judge your character. Keep the hand firm without crushing, give 2 short pumps, and maintain eye contact. Try to keep your hand out of your pockets and open beforehand so that it's not sweaty. Intimacy isn't at all like what you see in the movies. Your partner will have boundaries, so take your time, use protection. Consent needs to be constant. Just because they say okay at the start doesn't mean they can't say stop later. Eventually, you will get to an age where almost nothing matters. At 35, I'm starting to just roll through everything instead of freaking out or putting a lot of attention on something. Shower broke? Grab the tools. Dump run? All right, let's roll. Gotta move that heavy thing for my wife? Okie dokie. You get to a place where nothing negative matters anymore. It's a new kind of peace. Story 10. My advice is to stay away from the idiotic cesspools that are red pill, black pill, and MGTOW communities. They are not the men's help groups you want or need to go to. There are plenty of men's help groups that are genuinely great. Hell, even your fellow amigos can be your support beams. But for the love of whatever God may exist, stay away from those big 3 danger zones. You will become a prejudiced and self-righteous shadow of a man. Frankly, they are quite good at manipulating any recent or lifelong emotional troubles you have, especially if women are involved. They lure you in with sweet nothings about being supportive of your fellow men, improving yourself, and being healthier. The worst part is that some of the activities they suggest are legitimately helpful. The catch is that they turn you into a woman-hating jerk, so just please, anywhere else is better than those 3 communities. Alright, so just in case you didn't know, like myself, so I googled it, MGTOW stands for Men Going Their Own Way, which is, yeah, like OP said, another anti-feminist, misogynistic, mostly online community advocating for men to separate themselves from women and society, which they believe has been corrupted by feminism. Story 11. Don't catcall women. Tip your trash service crew around Christmas time. Your vehicle's fuel gauge has an arrow pointing to the side where the cap is located. Call mom and dad. Drain small engine equipment with gas or use a stabilizer before storing it for the winter. Cast iron pans cook a better steak than a grill ever will. Tip 20%. Women have a finely tuned BS detector, so skip lying and focus on an apology. Treat women like you'd expect some kid to treat your daughter. Use sunscreen, be flexible but not a pushover. New Balance speakers are not ideal for mowing, despite the memes. Donate clothes that don't fit you instead of trying to stuff yourself in them. 5 minutes early is late. Look someone in the eye and stand up to shake their hand, and don't fake interest or attraction. Listen instead of waiting to speak. Story 12. Woman here with an encouragement. Practice humility and being objective in decision making is the most attractive thing. Not in an intimate way, but in an I can trust this man with every ounce of my life and follow him kind of way. When you have to trust your partner to lead you at times and need to consider their opinions, you want nothing but someone who can have a clear mind and consider all perspectives of a situation. Practicing things like empathy to see another person's point of view will force you to also practice humility when you're in the wrong. Whenever I see my boyfriend practice this, the vibe checks with me and I want to do the same. It's infectious in the best way. This, of course, goes both ways. Story 13. Respect your fellow dudes. Guy code has become associated with toxic things and it could evolve into that, but think how close a group of girlfriends is. Stand by your dudes, check in with them. The reason we have these male mental health campaigns is because it's still considered a weak move to talk about not being okay. So check in on your buddies. You never know the impact that one call, text, or message could make. Beyond that, first, get good tools. Don't buy cheaply. Second, find your balance. Third, find your hobby. One thing, just one thing, brings you that internal peace. And fourth, when it comes to romance, whatever your brand of strangeness, make sure the juice is worth a squeeze. Well, what do you know? Guys looking out for other guys? Awesome. It's good to see. Some of these apply to girls too, so there's something for everyone here. Now, if you need to see the down low on relationships from IRL people, check out the next video, Real Relationship Tips You Need to Hear. I'm going to go ahead and keep story 2 in mind and keep it in my back pocket just in case I need it. I'll see you there, and thank you for watching this one.